your brand is the coolest and hippest in the industry right now. Or even back then when you started, you guys are so different, so hip, so cool. Was coolness part of the objectives?
This is Challenger Brands, helping you build better brands and businesses. Hosted by Illustrado, the brand development and creative agency for ambitious and audacious challenger brands.
Hi guys, welcome to Challenger Brands, where we talk about brand development, marketing, sales, and entrepreneurship, and everything else to help you grow your brand and business better. My name is Lelaine Chu Benitez. I'm the managing director of Illustrado. We are a brand consultancy, and in each episode, we talk to industry professionals and entrepreneurs to get the lowdown on their secrets, on what makes their brands grow, right? And we have a very interesting topic today, and it's all about how to be the coolest brand in your industry. But before I introduce our guest today, let me thank you first, our partners. Thank you so much to Rove Hotels, who've always supported us all these years, and to Melrose Studios, who are filming this video podcast episode. And so now we have our guest, who is Miguel Rojas. Miguel Rojas is the brand director for marketing of Rove Hotels. And Miguel, you're going to tell us today the secrets that went into creating Rove as the coolest and hippest brand in the hospitality industry in the UAE.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you're going to spill some secrets today?
Yeah.
We're so excited to have you, Miguel. You see, when Rove launched back in 2016, and I understand that you joined Rove even before that,
Yes.
So you were part of the team that really created this brand and put it all together. When Rove was launched back in 2016, we felt like there was a new category in the market that was just open, right?
Yes.
Rove came in, there was nothing like it before. And, it was a totally fresh, new type of positioning for a brand in the market. So we'd like to get in, your advice and see what went on into making Rove from the beginning, if you don't mind sharing these things with us today.
Yeah, sure. So when Rove opened, there was a big gap in the market in Dubai. You had the 5-star luxury segment, and then there was a lot of like unbranded hotels, lower categories and so on. So Rove fit that gap very nicely in the middle, where you have a product that is high quality product, but at the same time is accessible to everyone. And I think that was really needed in the market at the time, and it's one of the reasons why it was so successful.
Yeah, it was so different. But before we go into how unique Rove is and how you made that happen, can you share with us some milestones that Rove has been able to reach in the last couple of years?
Yeah, sure. So since Rove opened in 2016, we've opened now 9 properties. We've had the only hotel at Expo 2020. Which it was a big milestone for the brand to showcase what we do to the world. We've just launched a residence brand as well. And I think generally we've contributed to transforming a little bit the hospitality in the region. That's something I think we're quite proud of.
I think you have. You guys should be very, very proud, and kudos to you and your team, Miguel. Now let's talk about differentiating the Rove brand, from when you started, and perhaps you can tell us a little bit about target market. I was asking you earlier, right? It felt like before that the target market of Rove is young. Is it really the case, or is it a totally different situation?
So the target market of Rove is quite diverse, to be honest. It's more of a mindset rather than a demographic. And we see that, it doesn't matter, what's your purchasing power, right? If you come to our parkings, you're going to find from Lamborghinis to, more
That's
regular
true.
cars and so on.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's something that, or whether you're older or younger, it's all about, whether you have this mindset of, curious, you like to explore, you like to go out, and you don't necessarily need like big luxuries, right? You just want to have all the essentials and then go out and explore and so on.
I love that. So it's a lifestyle, it's a mindset thing, right? It's
Yes,
not
it
an
is.
age thing. How did you articulate the positioning of Rove back then?
I think it was about trying to find our own voice. We very much wanted to also have like a community space and a hub. And I think through initiatives like co-working, like, you know, things that we've opened later on, like the studio, it's like the podcast studio, we have a photo studio and so on. I think it helps us become very welcoming, and it helps a lot of people actually discover us. And then if you look at our communications, we have a very different approach to most hotel brands as well. Rove tone of voice is very direct. It's very friendly. Everyone can understand what we're saying. There's no like high words and, you know, stuff like that. And everything is very positive, bright. Our imagery reflects our video, our music. We always try to keep that tone, even if we, let's say, you know, make fun of things or, you know, try to have a comedy spin. We never try to be offensive. We always, you know, try to be very tongue-in-cheek or whatever it is, but never, you know, offend anyone. And I think generally we try to always come across as a very positive, very friendly, that, you know, kind of part of the community.
I think there in itself is the uniqueness, right? Because I've never heard that from a hotel before, to become the community hub. Right? Because other hotels, you see them serving the typical, you know, it's either the tourist crowd or the people who are going for staycations, F&B outlets and all of that. So I think community probably is the trigger word, or that defines everything that you do, right? And like you said, it's such a cohesive thing, right? And Miguel, you were telling me earlier that when you identify a specific positioning like this, you also have to be prepared to say no to certain things that don't fit within that circle, right? You were saying about, for example, valet parking. Can you expound on that?
Yeah, so one thing that we found, especially when we opened, was that obviously we didn't fit what was in the market. And people expect certain things when they stay in a hotel, right? So they expect that they're going to get valet parking, that they're going to get certain amenities in the room and so on. But that's not the Rove concept. And that was a point where, obviously, especially with the hotel managers and so on, we had to make sure, you know, that it's enforced and we keep our brand and we don't dilute it by doing things that, you know, it's not part of our standard, of our brand. And that's the reason why we're Rove, right?
Yeah.
If you come to a Rove, you know what to expect.
Exactly.
I think generally we're quite consistent across the brand, but you also know what not to expect.
I'd like that. Again, you know, just backtracking for our viewers out there. Here, you're saying that you should not be afraid of who you are, and you stick to who you are, even if that means saying no to certain things that are expected in the industry, right? Because that's not the brand that you've put together.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Where does this bravery come from? Because it's like I said, it's easy to be average. You know, you can match whatever is available out there in the market and just say that we're more competitive because, I don't know, we have faster valet, we have cheaper prices and all of that. But you guys did something that's totally different. It was not existing before. The category that you've created, it was not existing before in the market, and that's a huge risk, right? So how do you find, where do you find the assurance to do something that's totally different?
I mean, I can't really like put that medal, right? I think that goes very much to our team.
Yes.
Because I think we basically, if you look at our team, for the most part, we're all on a very similar mindset. And when we go to hotels as travelers, you know, we like certain things. We don't need like huge rooms, you know, and very luxurious amenities. We actually want, you know, very functional rooms. We, you know, very nice environment, obviously clean and so on. And then, you know, go out and explore. That's generally what we do. And I think generally across the team, we're pretty much like that. So we just try and, you know, try to get our vision of what we would like in a hotel, bring it to our own properties.
And yeah, another important thing that you've mentioned, with your brand development is making sure that everything is cohesive, right? So, from everything that people see, your brand imagery and your communication, but it also has to rub off on your operations, the way your staff treat the guests, everything that happens within your hotel, within your property, and everything that experienced by visitors here. Can you speak about consistency also?
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest challenges, especially at the beginning. It was trying to really match what you get in the property with the brand standard. And I think a lot of that is also communication. We try to match, so we have a very direct communication on our channels and very friendly tone of voice, but we don't use high words and stuff like that. And then when you come to the property, you don't have a robotic service. We actually, we empower the teams to be themselves and display their personality and so on. So there is a match, right? So there is things like that really work, because that way what you're seeing online and what we're communicating through our videos, imagery, and so on, is actually reflected when you're coming to the properties.
Definitely. I love that. And I think as a reminder for business owners and marketing people out there, your brand promise is not worth anything unless it's delivered all throughout, right? So this really matters a lot. Now let's talk about coolness. And I was asking you this before, Miguel, your brand is the coolest and hippest in the industry right now. Or even back then when you started, you guys are so different, so hip, so cool. Was coolness part of the objectives?
Yes, as I mentioned before, I don't think we ever decided that we wanted to be cool.
You're so lucky.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be cool, and coolness is such a hard factor or a hard attribute to possess. So
yeah, but if you try to be cool, you might try too hard, right?
You're not cool anymore.
Not cool.
That's good.
I think for us, as I mentioned, we just try to really have what we think would really fit the concept, and as a team we decide on what we believe that should be it, and then implement that. And generally what we find is that if we get excited about something and we have an idea and we think it can work, generally it tends to work, because it's what we would like as guests, right, as rovers.
So whether intentional or inadvertent, what do you think allowed Rove to be a cool brand?
I think we've selected very good partners for once. We've always worked with the mentality of collaborating, same as opening up to the community, also looking for a lot of partnerships. One of the things is we don't, as a challenge, we don't have huge budgets. We don't have the budgets that big hospitality brands can have and so on. So for us, it's all about going around that challenge and say what can we do to get the word out. And one of those things that I think where we've been very successful is finding partners in different areas and opening up different segments for us. So we launched the first gaming rooms in the Middle East. I mean, in terms of
that's very exciting.
Of brand awareness, it went crazy. Actually, we got awareness from all over the world about that. We've done with Nikon. We have a collaboration now that we've been working with them for like 5 years, and we have a very, very good relationship with them. And I think things like that really help. I think you need to be prepared also to give. You need to understand that you're not going to make money in every situation, but you're doing it for a purpose, whether that is bringing the community in or I don't know, changing the brand perception or something like that. So
looking at the bigger picture then.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of what you said to me, again, I remember one thing that you mentioned, that even when you hire staff members or team members, mindset is so important. And I feel like this is the engine that that really runs everything. It's having that certain mindset, right? That you bring in, whether you're doing marketing or you're doing service or you're doing collaborations or you're creating the next innovation for Rove Hotels. I feel like the mindset is the heart of what
It
makes your
is.
brand, right?
100%.
What's the Rove mindset, and how do you bring that when you're hiring people, when you're looking for people, so that they embody the Rove brand?
Yeah, I mean, it's always is friendly, approachable. I think forward thinking. We also like to, innovate in a way. And I think one of the things that I've noticed, especially when we opened, we noticed that there was this trend where a lot of brands try to almost like look at what we were doing and imitate.
Yes.
And obviously that's flat. That's great to see that other brands are looking at us. But I think one of the things that they didn't understand was that it wasn't about the design of the hotels. It wasn't about like the interiors and so on. And yeah, it's great, right? And we love it. But it's not really about that. It's about them having the right team trained that, they understand the brand and so on. So we do very extensive trainings. And I think we all generally speak same language. And also we have very flat hierarchy. Like I used to work in another 5-star property before. And you feel like there is a very big gap between the team in operations and the management, let's say. While here we're all very approachable. Like our CEO works from the hotels, right? And everyone can approach him, and everyone can approach any of the team. So we share ideas, we talk, we understand how the hotels are doing, what they need. And I think that connection is very important.
I love that. And, I say this, being a regular visitor to Rove Rove feels like home to us, honestly. We do a lot of work, in Rove. We lunch here a lot, and we do a lot of things. And one thing that I noticed with your team is that it doesn't matter who you're talking to. Even if you're talking to the service staff, everybody feels like empowered. They can help you out. It's easy for them to support and provide whatever assistance, and coming from an empowered position.
Yes. Also, we don't compromise on service. That's something that we've done from the beginning, and I think it's one of our big successes. Because generally, when you look at our price points, I think generally people have an expectation. When you come to a Rove, that we like to kind of surpass those expectations. So I can tell you, for example, we just got a report from DTCM where they looked at DT. They looked at the review scores for 2022 across all hotels. So as a brand, we averaged 9.5 out of 10.
Wow.
In performance. That was online reviews.
Amazing.
Even in things
well deserved.
Thank you. So even in things like food, right? Which generally, if you look at mid-market brands, it tends to be an area that I think, let's say, people don't consider too well, right? Yeah. So in food, we also score up of 9 and so on. So we don't, I think because we are a lifestyle brand and, people may have a certain expectations. We don't go by that. We always try to do our best and ensure that people have a very
I believe
good
that. I
experience.
was telling the team at the Daily, every time I order the chicken with cream, I tell them that that's the best chicken in Dubai, which is really personal. But I do remember that, and that's a very honest opinion. Yeah. Sounds like a great place to work in.
This is Challenger Brands. Please subscribe to our channel and share our content. Follow us on our agency's social media pages, Illustrado.co, on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, or subscribe to our newsletter via our website, www.illustrado.co. Thank you to our sponsors for today's episode. Rove Hotels. Rove Hotels are a jumping-off point for city explorers, simply designed for the young and young at heart. Born in Dubai, Rove is an award-winning lifestyle brand offering well-designed hotels, fuss-free service, and great value in well-connected locations. More than just a bed for the night, Rove provides rovers, the missing link to connect you to the city like a local, and explore the track less trodden in a relaxed environment where you can be yourself. With sustainability, local art, and high-performing functionality at the heart of its brand, Rove represents a new niche of hospitality for the digital nomad looking to become part of the neighborhood, even when they're just passing through. Please check them out at rovehotels.com. The Melrish Studio, Dubai videographers and photographers specializing in storytelling content creation. Melrish specializes in event photography and videography, film production and content creation, storytelling through creative images and videos. From events to brands, Melrish Studio has told more than 1,000 stories. Based in Dubai, Melrish has worked with the biggest brands and grandest events, but their services are quite affordable even for SMEs. The Melrish team is also available to work across the Middle East and Europe. Check out their portfolio at melrish.com.
So going back to our discussion, Miguel, it's been 7 years since you guys opened Rove, and we've seen that in the last couple of years there have been hotels that are trying to emulate what you guys have created in your niche, right? So how do you become how do you maintain competitiveness in a market that's becoming so competitive and so saturated with a lot of brands? How do you maintain being at the top of your game?
I think that's always going to be there, right? Whether it's here or whether we now export the Rove concept to a different market, I think that's always going to be the case. I think here we are lucky now that we have obviously 7 years of history. I think we are fairly well known. People know what to expect, and in that sense, I think we have an advantage. Because also, we have a lot of partners that want to work with us, and generally people know us. But the main thing is basically not to rest on your laurels, right? Like always try to do things differently, always try to innovate.
How do you innovate? What's your process for innovation?
So it's a bit of, obviously there is innovation across many departments. When it comes to marketing, actually, it's very mixed. Obviously, I have my own ideas and, where I want to take the brand and what I want to do. Like, for example, the latest things that we've been experimenting a lot with, it's been social media. So we've transformed our social media over the last year or so. And we've tried to make it it doesn't really look like a hospitality brand almost.
It doesn't really, yeah.
It's what you would expect from lifestyle brands or other type of media, right?
Definitely.
But it's very much like just keeping on top of what's going on in the world, pretty much, and then see it doesn't make sense to bring it into our brand, or can we adapt it somehow? But then we really brainstorm internally, to be honest. It's not just me driving it. Ideas come from everyone.
How do you keep it very true for the Emirates? How do you keep this connection with the Emirates and Dubai particularly alive, which we feel so much in all of your properties?
Obviously we understand Dubai and we understand the region. We were born here. But I think that, you see it in a lot of, the artworks, you see in maybe the activations we do and so on. We like to always showcase the city and bring some small details of, the city, the language and so on into our properties. But I think generally the Rove concept is quite global. Like I think you could put a Rove in London or you could put it in New York. It would work equally.
That is true. Miguel, what are the key lessons that you would like to share to entrepreneurs and marketing people out there? What lessons can we learn from Rove?
I think as we were discussing earlier, stick to your guns. Like if this is your brand identity, make sure that you stick to it, because it's the only way that you're going to be different and stand out. Otherwise, you'll be doing what everyone else is doing. And then I think don't be discouraged by challenges, like if, like budgets or stuff like that. There is always ways around it. You can always find a way to get your voice heard. You just need to work harder for it, but it can definitely be done.
Yeah, I love that. To all you marketers out there who have a problem with their budget, just listen to what Miguel is saying. You know, you can do so much even with so little, right? And I love this idea of being scrappy, as they say. You know, you make so many things out of such little resources. What can we expect from Rove moving forward? Are there any new developments? I know that you've mentioned some of them earlier. Maybe you can repeat that again. What can we see in the future of Rove?
Yeah, so the most immediate is going to be Rove Marjan Island, which will be opening in the first half of 2024. Yes.
We will be the first ones there, representing Russell Kaima.
I think that's very exciting for us. It's going to be a resort property.
Super.
It's really nice. Apart from that, we just announced also a residence brand, which is Rove Home. So we announced at ATM actually, and it's generating.
And you
a
said
lot
this
of
is sold
interest.
out, right?
It's not sold out, but it's selling really fast.
Okay.
And
how many properties are you selling for Rove Home?
It's 177 total.
Super.
Yeah.
Exciting. I'm amazed at how big the Rove brand has become, that now you're selling homes with a Rove brand, right?
Yes. And there's so much interest about it.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, let's see where the future takes us. I think definitely
super excited.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you personally, Miguel. If you don't mind me asking, how do you keep on top of your game as a marketing person?
For me, like I'm always learning stuff. I like to read a lot, and I like to see what's going on. You know, check out the news, see what's going on around the world. In particular, I'm a tech enthusiast. I love tech, so I'm always learning about what's going on in that field, but also what tools I can try and stuff like that. And I think I apply then some of those ideas that I get around and maybe see how I can bring them to Rove. But also I try new tools, maybe try and get more productive and so on.
Since you mentioned that you're, you love tech, what about ChatGPT? What's your attitude, with regards to ChatGPT? Will you use it? Do you recommend people to use it?
Yeah, I've tried it actually a few times. I think generally AI is going to change the world in the next few years. It's moving so fast.
Should we be scared?
I
excited?
think there is definitely a dark side to it. It's something that we have to be wary of, because obviously there can be a lot of disinformation. It can be like images that are not real, that look very real, stuff like that. But I think if you look at it from work, for example, environment, honestly, it opens up so many possibilities. You can automate tasks. You're talking to it as if you're talking to another human. And we've tried it. I've used it myself for brainstorming. It's actually a great tool for brainstorming, because you can feed it a few ideas. Yeah, you can feed a few ideas and then kind of bounce it back and forth with the AI, and then end up with something. Finish with something that is actually a very nice, package or product. Like, for example, we did, and this was more of a joke, but we did for Valentine's Day, we did a Valentine's promo for single people.
Okay.
So we put together...
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was a joke for social content, but it was actually pretty funny. So we put, I put together some things that I thought could work, and then I put it on ChatGPT, and then we bounced back and forth with some ideas. We put together a package, and then we did, together also we drafted a script and we did a video. It was actually
please do this again next Valentine's Day, because we have to stand up for all the single people in the world out there. So they deserve their Valentine's Day as well, right?
Yeah.
That's excellent. So embrace technology and use it to your advantage.
Yes.
Any last words, last tips for our viewers today, Miguel?
Nothing in particular. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you. Please invite everybody to Rove. It's such a great hotel chain. Do invite our viewers.
Yes.
Yeah?
Please come. You'll have a good time.
You'll have a good time. Rove is such a cool place. The coolest brand in the industry. Thank you so much, Miguel,
Thank
for
you.
your time today. And thank you so much for always supporting us.
Thanks.
Best of luck to Rove. Best wishes. Thank you so much, Miguel.
Thank you.
All right. And that was it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Challenger Brands. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Please subscribe to our channel and share our content. For more actionable insights on brand and business building, follow us on our agency's social media pages or subscribe to our newsletter via our website, www.illustrado.co.